Welcome back to another AMC Financial Astrology Update video. DD on AMC absolutely cannot get anywhere else. I'm your host, Jason Alexander, the Blue Moon of Neptune, here to help you navigate through the illusions of life. And today we're going to go over the SPY and AMC and Gamestop to predict where the overall market is going to go and where our favorite meme stocks, including Ape, is going to go in the near future. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I've done a video, but I know the Moon Lords know I'm not going to go anywhere. I've been here since the beginning and plan to be here till the end. The last time we made a video, I described that we were entering another eclipse season, and I said eclipse season is squeeze season, and we definitely have some squeeze energy. So we're going to get started on the SPY, but before we get started, you want to show me some love, go ahead and hit that like button. You know I appreciate each and every one of you guys for supporting the channel. If you're new here and want to get DD, you're absolutely not going to get anywhere else. All you gotta do is hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to check us out at the Market Moonlord Discord. That is definitely where I'm dropping DD throughout the weeks when I'm not on YouTube. So let's get started. Welcome to the Market Moonlord, where we merge the matrix with the stars. I'm your host, Jason Alexander, the Blue Moon of Neptune, here to help you navigate through the illusions of life. So we have the SPY pulled up. The last video on the new moon eclipse, we had a little uptrend and I predicted we were going to get a pop for that eclipse, which we did. We consolidated, had a small drop, and then popped again at the second eclipse, which is a full moon eclipse. The first one was a new moon eclipse, and we popped, and now we're approaching, or now we did hit the 200 MA on the SPY, which is very, very bullish, especially if we break it. Now, after this Pluto retrograde, which I talked a lot about, this purple box, we saw that we had a couple more days of downtrend before heading up to an uptrend. I do predict that we are going to hit this 418 level before the end of the Pluto getting out of the shadow period, which ends in January 23rd. So I do think around this new moon, which is going to be November 23rd, we're going to definitely be around this 408 level. If we break that, I definitely see us going to 418 in the near future. The bearish scenario for this up and coming week is we get rejected at this 200 MA before going down to about 286 again before heading back up. But I do think that since we did have a pop, if you see here on this waning period, we had an uptrend, and then on the waxing period, we had a little bit of consolidation, and then on this waning period, it looks like we're going to head back up into this new moon, which is again November 23rd. I do think we're going to test the 408 by then, but we might have some consolidation before that happens. Looking at some of the indicators, we definitely have a nice increase of volume. The MACD is starting to pull up really nicely. We have the lines above the signals. The RSI is really looking good at 63, very bullish, and the stochastic is still heading up. We did cross on the vertex a few days before that eclipse, the new moon eclipse, and we've been above it since. And on the daily, we did approach the 200 MA. If we cross that, that's going to be very bullish. The last time we've been around the 200 MA was late August, and we're getting the 1348 cross, which is also bullish. So the SPY is looking really good. We may have a little bit of a downtrend a couple of days before heading back up again, and we may have to wait until 3 days before that new moon before we see that bullish energy, or we just go right past the 200 MA and get a nice little pop right to the 408 level. Okay, so now we're looking at Gamestop, and I'm not gonna lie, Gamestop to me is looking the most bullish out of AMC, the SPY, and the rest of the memes, mainly because GameStop's been trading in these support and resistance lines since early September. It's been trading in these lines. AMC's been going up under the support lines and making new lows, while GameStop hasn't really done that. It's done it one time and that one day, and then bounced right back up the same day. But one thing I want to say is it looks like during a bear market, on the stocks that do follow the moon phases, during a bear market, these eclipses are playing out as new bottoms instead of new highs. During a bull market, we know what happens on these eclipses. They go to new highs. So I find that very interesting. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that in the near future to really say, yeah, that's a for sure thing. But that's what's definitely been happening. Now, one thing I would say about GameStop is it didn't make a lower high or lower low since that eclipse that we had back in May, where AMC did. So that's one of the big reasons why GameStop to me is looking way stronger. And then this eclipse over here did make a new low, but immediately bounced out a new bottom, you could say, in the short time frame. But we could definitely see that it bounced up really quickly once it broke that support line, and we've been heading up since a couple of days after that eclipse, along within the rest of the market. So GameStop to me is looking very, very, very strong. We can see on the MACD on the daily that it wants to squeeze to the green side, which is very nice. The vertex also just made a cross on the daily. The money flow index is also going up. We had good buying volume coming in. And so, yeah, GameStop's looking really, really good. I am thinking that we're going to, around this new moon, which is on the 23rd, not this week, but the week after that, we should be around this $28 level, looking to hopefully break this resistance. Okay, if we get a new moon pop, I want to see us above the $29 level, maybe going all the way to the $30 level where the 200 MA looks like it's heading. So yeah, GameStop is looking very, very spicy compared to AMC, but AMC and GameStop are both looking good. So let's take a look at AMC. Okay, so we know AMC had a mega week. First of all, on the eclipse, they did have earnings, and they had a double beat on both the earnings per share and the revenue, which is awesome. And yeah, it took a couple of days for it to come in. 2 days after that, we did start seeing those pops off the CPI. But one thing I want to show you guys is see this eclipse over here where we made a new bottom in May, and that remained the bottom for a long time. But then on this eclipse, we made another new bottom. Okay, so to me, we have the bottom in for a pretty good, at least for a few months. The new bottom is in, and I don't think we're going to go under this level right here, which is the 5. I just placed a new line there at the 507, so that's another support line that we're going to draw in. But after that eclipse, look, we had the 18% day, and then the day after that, we had the 17% day. That is awesome. Only almost 40% in 2 days after that eclipse. That is awesome. We had a very nice increase of volume, and now we're approaching now we did hit the 50 MA. Okay, so if we go above the 50 MA, I am expecting a pop. I'm going to show you guys what happens when we typically do go above the 50 MA. First of all, over here, we went 500%, and we all remember that when we went from that $6 level, or I think it was like 14 at the time, to 70. Over here, when we crossed it, we got 89%. And then over here, the last 2 times we crossed it, we had over 80% right there. And then over here, we had over 80%. So we could see the pattern there that we could get over 80% as well. And that does match up with breaking this downtrend, which downtrend will probably put us around the $16 mark, where this 80% will put us around the $13 mark. Okay, and we have a line at both of those levels. So that looks very likely in the near future. I can't say how fast that's going to happen, but I do think we're going to head up. Now, we could get some, again, we are testing this 50, so we could get a little bit of some downside this up and coming week, which would line up with the fact that we get little pops at the full moon, and then we fall a little bit and then start consolidating. So the bearish scenario is we get rejected at the 50 this week, and then we fall somewhere around this 5 or the 655 level. Okay, consolidate a little bit, and then a few days, trading days before the new moon, we start bouncing back up, getting the signal that we're going to get another pop, hopefully above the 50 MA, and taking us to at least the $8, $38 level. Okay, the same thing on AMC like the GameStop had. We just made the cross on the vertex, which is really nice. The stochastic is still heading up. The RSI is looking pretty good above 50%, and we just started squeezing onto the green side on the MACD. So yeah, if you guys were in the Discord, when we fell underneath this line, that's when I started buying near the money calls. Okay, I've been playing more near the money calls on AMC because the pops are a little bit smaller than what they were before on the new moon and full moon. So I have been playing near the money. I held it through the week when we fell here, and then I held it over here, and then I even held it over. I actually got more on this day, which I put in the Discord. Because after we had earnings, I saw that it was bullish. We had good earnings. I saw that we had a potential catalyst with the CPI. And so why not add to my position? And I got even more near the money on this one. And then we had those really nice 18% days, 2 days in a row. All my options went over 200%, which is awesome. Okay. So bullish scenarios, we cross this 50 right away and we just rip. If we rip past the 50 around this new moon, we could be testing this trend, this downtrend, which is happening since that squeeze. Okay. That yellow line right there. So if we surpass that, I mean, the sky is the limit, and that would match the 80% move after the 50 MA. That we would cross that. Okay. So it could be a good time to really start considering buying some shares if you haven't been accumulating, or some options, but I will be waiting for us to cross the 50 before I do that. I also will be waiting to kind of be a little bit closer to that new moon. Okay. But if we start ripping on Monday, I feel like it's the smart. I am holding some runners still. So I feel like on Monday, I'm not gonna really do anything at the beginning of the day. I'm gonna wait till later in the afternoon, because we all know the pattern that happens. We get a little pop at the beginning, and then we fall way underneath that. Okay, so I'm not gonna rush into anything right now, but the chart is looking very, very nice for a big move in the near future. As far as Ape, I can't say it follows the moon phases, so I'm just kind of going off of what I see. We did just break this downtrend that we've been in since late October. And we broke it pretty nicely with the increase of volume. One thing I find interesting is we never started squeezing to the red side on the MACD, which is cool. Now, we have a very similar setup that we've had a lot on Ape. We have the full moon and then the Poji after that. And then in the Poji, usually we get some type of different change, either a big move down or up. Typically, and it hasn't been that much time for us to see for sure, but typically it's more down than up after the full moon. The Poji hit, we run into the Poji and we tend to fall. You can see it right here. Right there, we actually kept running, okay? And right here we fell after the full moon. So here we have a very similar setup as this, okay? Of what's happened over here. And I do think that we could two things. If the Poji happens, which is going to be on the 14th, if we keep going up after the Poji, I think it could be very nice time to really go in even harder, especially with this increase of volume, especially with us being so far down. It's almost like they couldn't really push us too much further down at this area, at this $228 level. It looks like it couldn't really push us too further down from there, and the market could start going up to an uptrend. Okay, so it does look likely that Ape found a bottom. The vertex is trying to flatten out. The RSI is still very low, so we have a lot of room to keep going. All right, the RSI is low, the stochastic is low, so the big move on Ape hasn't really happened yet, even though we did get a 15% day. There hasn't really been a big move to Ape yet. When I look at the weekly chart, look at that big doji candle on the weekly and look at that increase of volume. Okay, so I am optimistic that Ape did find a bottom, and it's only going to pretty much head up from here. The bear case scenario is it retests this trend line, maybe around this $130 level, $1.30 level before bouncing up, or we just keep heading up. But Ape is looking very, very nice for a potential big move to the upside in the future. So you guys let me know about that. What do you guys think about AMC? Do you guys think AMC is on its way to really get out of this really crazy downtrend and get back into double digits? Do you think we'll have some arbitrage with Ape and Ape catches up to AMC? What type of moves do you guys think is going to happen? Are you guys still in Ape and AMC equally? Me personally, I've been adding to both of them, and I've been adding to Gamestop, playing a little bit less options, unless there's some type of catalyst, and I've been accumulating more shares. But it does look likely that we could be entering at least a nice sexy bear market rally, which could lead to covering, who knows. But I am optimistic. I am still holding with you guys, so let me know if you guys are still holding with me. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and don't forget to check us out at the Market Moonlord Discord, where I drop DD throughout the week. I appreciate every one of the Moon Lords out here. Until next time, I'm Jason Alexander, the Blue Moon and Neptune, here to help you navigate through the illusions of life. You're watching the Market Moonlord, where we merge the matrix with the stars. Until next time, peace.
Jason Alexander, the Blue Moon of Neptune.